Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, Iran's supreme leader, is dead. Iranian state media reported his death early Sunday after a major attack launched by Israel and the United States. US President Donald Trump had said earlier hours that Khamenei had been killed in the joint operation. Ali Khamenei was a pillar of Iran's theocratic system since the Islamic Revolution and saw off multiple crises over the decades. Khamenei took over the reins after the death of Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini in 1989. Khomeini had led the overthrow of the Shah, but it fell to Khamenei to turn that revolutionary vision into a state establishment. He ended up ruling far longer than Khomeini. He expanded the Cyrillical class and built the paramilitary Revolutionary Guard into the most important body underpinning his rule. He remained in power after overcoming 1999 student demonstrations, 2009 mass protests sparked by disputed presidential elections, and 2019 demonstrations that were brutally suppressed. He also survived the 2022-2023 Women Life Freedom Movement, sparked by the death in custody of Iranian Kurdish woman Mahsa Amini, who had been arrested for allegedly violating the strict dress code for women. Khamenei responded with a deadly crackdown. Khamenei was forced to go into hiding during the 12-day war against Israel in June, but he survived that war. In early January, hundreds of thousands marched in cities across the country, many calling for end to his rule. Khamenei responded with the deadliest crackdown seen in nearly 50 years of clerical rule as security forces opened fire on crowds, killing thousands. Ali Khamenei was born into a religious family in the northeastern holy city of Mashhad. He studied under Khomeini in the early 1960s before Khomeini's exile to Iraq and France. When Khomeini returned to Iran in triumph in February 1979 and proclaimed the Islamic Republic, Khamenei was appointed to the secretive Revolutionary Council. In 1981, he was elected Iran's third president. That same year, a bombing by opponents left him with one hand paralyzed. Under Khamenei's reign, Iran shifted fully from conventional warfare to support for proxies, building the so-called axis of resistance to advance its interests in the region. He remained deeply suspicious of the US, referring to it as the Great Satan. Khamenei's death raises questions about the future of the Islamic Republic. The 88-seat Assembly of Experts, a group of mostly hardline clerics, will choose Khamenei's replacement. No clear successor in the place. But reports say National Security Chief Ali Larijani may play a pivotal role. And for more on this, we are being joined live by former advisor at the office of PM Netanyahu, Ruthie Bloom from Tel Aviv. Thank you so much, Ruthie, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So, Ruthie, can you please tell me, after the deaths, like the confirmation of the deaths, what exactly are we looking at moving forward?
Well, clearly what we're looking at is the decapitation of that evil regime. Not only was Khamenei killed, but apparently 40 other senior officials in that regime were killed. And when you talk about succession, obviously President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu, they don't have their mind on a successor who comes from that regime, but rather from outside of it, a successor whom the Iranian people support. Now, President Trump hinted that he has an idea of whom that's going to be, but he didn't say, he said, I'm not saying so right now.
Right, and with the confirmed deaths of both Supreme Leader and the IRGC Commander-in-Chief, President Trump has urged the Iranian people to take back their country if the people rise up. But the IRGC, as we know, remains armed and leaderless. So how do we avoid a fragmented civil war, similar to what we saw in, Libya or Syria, for example?
Well, here, look, we're already seeing fragments, but these are positive ones. Unfortunately, for the poor Iranian people who did take to the streets and were gunned down, apparently in the tens of thousands, not only by the Revolutionary Guards, but by the Basij militias. What's interesting is both President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu urged the Iranian people, they sent them messages in Farsi as well, and President Trump didn't, but Prime Minister Netanyahu, the Israeli Mossad, sent messages to the cell phones of Iranians, and not only Iranian civilians, but also to the military, saying, join with the people of Iran and help free them from this regime. And if you lay down your weapons, you'll be rewarded. You'll be able to survive and perhaps thrive. That this is the encouragement, because neither Trump nor Netanyahu can bring about regime change. What they can do, and what they have been doing, is attacking the ballistic missiles, the nuclear sites, and also now, as we see, the regime leaders.